My name is Emma, and to truly understand this catastrophe, you must first understand my life before the money arrived. I'm 35, and for over 10 years, the library was my sanctuary. I was a quiet woman content with the smell of old paper, and my greatest aspiration was simple: to restore a crumbling municipal building and turn it into a free community library for the children who couldn't afford books. I was saving diligently, but $850,000 was a fantasy. Then there was Sarah. My younger sister was magnetic, beautiful, and utterly ruthless. She saw the world as a tool to serve her needs. While I was thrifty, Sarah was devoted to consumption. She measured success by designer labels and a never-ending cycle of innovative businesses that always failed, draining my parents' finances. My parents, blinded by her charm, treated her endless failures as bad luck, but I saw them for what they were: pure, calculated greed. Our only true beacon of stability was Grandma Margot. Grandma saw through the glamour. She often pulled me aside, pressing a small bill into my hand, saying, "Go buy yourself a new book, Emma. Knowledge is the only investment no one can steal." Her words, I now realize, were a desperate prophecy. Grandma passed away 6 months ago. The grief was profound, but what followed shattered everything. A few weeks after the funeral, Mr. Davies, an attorney from the city's most prestigious firm, called. Grandma had left a substantial portion of her estate, $850,000, specifically to me. The library was no longer a dream. It was an imminent reality. I called my parents, who were briefly overjoyed. But when I told Sarah, the line went cold, then erupted. "Sarah, $850,000. I need exactly $200,000 for my boutique, Emma. Transfer it. We're family." Her casual demand fueled a fire in me. I was done being the passive sibling. "No, Sarah, this money is for the community project. This is where I draw the line." She turned hysterical. "You'll regret this, Emma. You will regret challenging me." The transfer was delayed. Mr. Davies called, concerned. "The total value of your grandmother's estate was closer to $1.3 million just 2 years ago. The current balance is only $350,000. There are significant recurring withdrawals." I felt a cold dread settle in my stomach. The missing money. I drove back to Grandma's empty house. Behind a loose baseboard in her study, I found a fireproof metal box. Inside were her personal, handwritten financial ledgers from the last 3 years. The last few pages were a cry for help. I read, $250,000 removed. Sarah claimed I signed a business paper. My hands shake too much to be sure. I feel trapped. And later, $400,000 transfer. Sarah is calling it the mortgage payment on her new property. This is a crime. I am too weak to call the police. Sarah hadn't just asked for a loan. She had systematically, criminally depleted nearly $1 million while Grandma was sick and vulnerable. My inheritance was simply the scraps left by my sister. Armed with the ledger, I stormed to my parents' house. I threw the box onto the coffee table. "You knew about the $950,000. You knew she stole it." My father's face went white with fear, not for Grandma, but for Sarah. My mother immediately began to sob. Mother, she's your only sister. If you press charges, she will go to prison. Lie for your family, Emma. That was the breaking point. They weren't horrified by the crime. They were horrified by the exposure. I loved Grandma more than any of you did. You are not asking me to be loyal. You are asking me to be an accomplice to a felony. I am not doing it. I drove straight to Sarah's luxury home, the home she bought with my grandmother's suffering. Sarah, I said, my voice cold and steady, I have the ledgers. You stole from Grandma. She tried to threaten me, but I was done. I contacted Mr. Davies. I am pressing full criminal charges against Sarah Hayes for forgery, fraud, and grand larceny. I have the evidence. The legal battle became a town spectacle. Sarah hired the best defense team who immediately launched a brutal character assassination against me, painting me as the bitter, jealous sister. My parents sat behind Sarah every day, their faces a wall of ice, glaring at me, the villain. When the handwriting expert confirmed Sarah's forged signature and the prosecutor presented Grandma's ledgers, the defense crumbled. The verdict returned guilty. Sarah's reaction was terrifying. She looked straight at me and screamed my name, a guttural sound I can still hear in my sleep. Sarah, you betch! I hope you choke on that money. You destroyed me. She was sentenced to time in prison and ordered to repay the full stolen amount. After the sentence, my mother cornered me, her face contorted with hatred. Mother, you have destroyed us. You destroyed your family. You are dead to us. You will never be welcome at our table again. I looked at them, my heart a stone. I chose justice for Grandma. You chose a thief. I turned and walked away. I won. I recovered the full inheritance and opened the Margot Hayes Community Library. It is beautiful, filled with light, laughter, and possibilities. I am financially free, and I achieved my life's purpose. But when I sit in the quiet of my library, surrounded by the books I love, I am utterly alone. I have no parents. I have no sister. Grandma Margot's last act was not just a gift of money. It was a crucible that revealed the rot at the heart of my family. I passed the test of integrity, but I failed the test of preserving the family unit. The $850,000 inheritance was the easiest thing I ever earned. The hardest was dealing with the price of that justice, the silence of my own phone, the emptiness of the holidays, and the heavy realization that to live truthfully, I had to completely cut off the people who were supposed to love me most. That is the price of integrity, and it is a lonely, cold price to pay.